New details about a Clay County teen accused of killing their parents in their Middleburg home. Tonight, the 14-year-old's best friend is speaking with News 4 Jax. Family member also shared this photo of David Lee and Brandy Smith with us.
Their 14-year-old son, Trevor Lee, is now charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Their home sits near Silver Point and County Road 220. News 4 Jax reporter Alicia Hatcher went to the neighborhood where it happened and spoke with the teen's friend.
One of Trevor's closest friends, Kyrie Beeman, met us right outside of the Lee family home. He says he's known Trevor since elementary school and he just saw him Friday. He also says he spoke with him over the phone around 12:30 this morning, and the conversation they had, he'll never forget.
He told me that he loved me, and he told me that he was just calling to tell me goodnight.
The best friend of a teen now accused of murder replays the last conversation they had before learning the shocking news. Crime scene tape lined a Middleburg neighborhood Monday morning after a chilling 911 call from a 14-year-old boy.
Our 911 communications center received a call from a young man who stated he had just killed his parents. He stated that deputies could find his parents at the house and that he had walked just over a mile away to a church.
Deputies responded and arrested 14-year-old Trevor Lee. When deputies got to the home, they found David Lee and Brandy Smith shot and killed inside.
Preliminary investigation, and we're still very early in this investigation, it appears that there was some sort of domestic argument last night between Trevor Lee and his parents, and that this shooting culminated from that argument.
When we arrived on scene, a family member was there but declined to speak. But one person did open up, someone who didn't just know the family, he considered them his own.
They were probably the best or one of the best families I knew. They were funny, and they treated me very well. They told me all the time that they loved me like a son, and they treated me as such.
Kyrie says it's still hard to believe, but he hopes people remember Trevor for more than just what happened.
He's not a bad person just because he made one bad decision. He's done so much for everyone I know, and I don't want him just to be known as a killer or a murderer, and that he was a great kid, a great son.
Coming up on News 4 Jax at 6, we'll share the moment Kyrie says he will always cherish that he shared with the Lee family. For now reporting, Alicia Hatcher, Channel 4, the local station.
This is another In Cuffs Crime Quickie. The Tulsa Police Department has arrested a man following an alleged unprovoked stabbing on a bus on Sunday. According to TPD, officers responded to reports of a stabbing at the bus station at 300 South Cheyenne Avenue around 1:09 p.m. on August the 3rd. Witnesses provided officers with the suspect's direction of travel. TPD says its bicycle patrol officers apprehended 42-year-old Robert J. Rhodes and took him into custody without incident. Police say Rhodes had visible blood on his clothing and a bloody knife was found in his pocket. Homicide detectives were called due to the severity of the victim's injuries. TPD says Rhodes and the 43-year-old female victim boarded the bus at the Walmart stop, and Rhodes sat behind the woman. They had no prior interactions or verbal exchanges. Once the bus reached the main station, Rhodes allegedly reached around and assaulted the victim by slicing her throat. Police say the victim has undergone surgery and her condition has stabilized. Rhodes is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and false impersonation. He is also being held on a fugitive from justice warrant out of Missouri.
We begin with a developing story in Brooklyn. Tonight, a search for a killer.
A deli worker stabbed to death for no apparent reason.
It happened this afternoon in East New York. Lindsay Tuckman with what police are saying tonight.
Tears shed Friday night as friends of 33-year-old Diego Sandoval Nava learned he was stabbed to death earlier that day. It was a violent crime inside this deli on the corner of Hegman Avenue and Van Sicklen Avenue in East New York, Brooklyn.
The cops and the ambulance was bringing him out, and they was working on him. He was pale. He didn't look like he was going to make it. Police say around 3 p.m., a man entered the bodega, agitated.
He left, but came back a few minutes later and attempted to get behind the counter. Diego tried to stop him, but the suspect pulled out a knife and stabbed him multiple times in the stomach. According to United Bodegas of America, the suspect was upset he couldn't buy a single cigarette.
How can someone take someone's life over Lucy's, over cigarettes? I mean, it's crazy what is going on with some people. We don't understand how you can take someone's life, a young man's life, over cigarettes.
Police say Sandoval Nava lived just above the deli, and those who knew him say he was a good, kind man who moved to the U.S. from Mexico and had 2 kids.
He will help other people outside, making sure they doing okay, feeding them, free food or something. And for me, he always making sure I'm okay.
And community members say the attack is sad and senseless.
When things like this happen, especially a known deli like this or anything else like that, this is our neighborhood store. So kids come to stores, elderly come to stores. So things like this, people just fearful.
The suspect ran away from the scene, and police have yet to make any arrests. Meantime, United Bodegas of America says it will try and contact Diego's family back in Mexico to support them through this terrible loss. In East New York, Lindsay Tuckman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, so you're listening there to officials in the state of Florida as they're now sharing some personal stories, but also talking about immigration enforcement there and what the state is doing differently. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, of course, there touching on Alligator Alcatraz, that detention center over in the Florida Everglades. Right now, I do want to get to a developing story that we are following out of Tennessee. Take a look right here at your screen as a quadruple murder mystery involving a baby found abandoned but alive there. Hours later, the baby's father, mother, grandmother, and uncle all found dead, and police have named a suspect. Madison Scarpino with Fox is live here with more on the investigation and the manhunt that is underway. Madison, what do we know and what is still left to figure out here?
Well, good morning, Josh. That 7-month-old girl was found stranded, strapped in a car seat in a seemingly random front yard. And a relative of all of the victims says that the family trusted the suspect. And again, he was close with the family. So it's unclear right now why or how this happened. But this is the man that multiple law enforcement agencies are looking for. 28-year-old Austin Robert Drummond. He's wanted for 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, and several gun charges. Investigators believe Drummond is driving this 2016 Audi A3 with a Tennessee plate RI 01896. It has damage to the driver's side, and he should be considered armed and dangerous. Investigators say Drummond killed the abandoned baby's parents, James Wilson and Adriana Williams. They say he also murdered Courtney Rose, that's the baby's grandmother, and the baby's uncle, Braden Williams. On Fox and Friends this morning, the local DA there says this was a targeted attack.
Austin Drummond's girlfriend, his current girlfriend, is a family member of the 4 deceased individuals. She's a half-sister to Courtney Rose, and so she would have been Braden, and Adriana would have been her nephew and niece.
Investigators found the family dead in a wooded area just hours after the 911 call came in about the abandoned baby. The DA says there is strong evidence at the scene connecting Drummond to the murders. And this is not his first run-in with the law. He just got out of prison less than a year ago after serving 13 years for armed robbery. The DA tells Fox he also had several pending charges there, including attempted murder. So they believe, again, this man is very dangerous, and police are urging anyone who may see him or that white Audi to call 911, and there is a combined award of up to $15,000 for any information leading to Drummond's arrest. Josh.
All right, Madison Scarpino there with Fox News. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Anything at this point coming in from the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, as to whether they plan to hold a news conference or provide any more updates? As of right now, I assume we haven't heard much there.
We haven't heard from TBI for about a day now. There was supposedly supposed to be some sort of conference yesterday. That did not happen. But of course, yesterday is when they named 28-year-old Austin Drummond as the suspect. So as you can imagine, they're likely very busy right now trying to find him. But as soon as we hear about an update from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation or any other law enforcement agency involved in this case, we'll definitely let our viewers know.
All right, Madison Scarpino there with Fox. We'll be in touch here as we gather more information. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here.
Thanks.
In Riviera Beach, a mother now stands accused of the unthinkable, the murder of her 7-year-old daughter.
Yeah, police say the girl was found unresponsive. This happened back in April, and after months of investigating, a grand jury now indicting the mother in her child's death.
CBS 12's Tiffany Rizzo has been following the details of this tragic case. Tonight, she breaks down what led to this arrest and where the case goes from here. Tiffany?
Jim and Liz, it's taken months, but the investigation has taken a dramatic turn. The child's own mother is now charged with first-degree murder in her daughter's death. April 28th, Riviera Beach police receive an emergency call. An unresponsive child reported at a home on West 15th Street. When they arrive, a 7-year-old girl is found in critical condition. She's taken to St. Mary's Medical Center, where she would later be pronounced dead. 24 hours later, detectives with the Special Investigations Division are asking questions. They ruled the death a homicide. Investigators say the child, Nia Williams' death was due to blunt force trauma to the stomach. Her mother, Nikisha Williams, is identified as the single suspect. A neighbor who says she tried to help had no idea just how bad the conditions were inside the victim's home.
I never thought those girls were sleeping on the floor and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? A damaged mattress. It was just, when I went in the house with the police, it was horrible. The whole house was like, girl, I have never seen nothing like that before in my life. You got chicken that stayed in the refrigerator for days and magnets in the refrigerator.
She says the mother rarely walked her kids to school, even when it rained. She also remembers the child telling her something that shocked her.
She said, Mama won't bathe me. Mama won't put me in the water and bathe me. And then I told her, you want me to bathe you? Want to take a bath here? No, Miss Sharon, I want Mama to do it.
Fast forward to June 25th. A grand jury indicts Williams for first-degree murder. Prosecutors believe the mother had planned and intended to kill her own daughter.
And to die a tragic death from her own mother. I mean birth mother. Not stepmother, birth mother. And the stuff like that, you don't just get out of jail. You understand what I'm saying? It's so sad.
Just after 1:30 Friday morning, U.S. Marshals tracked her down. Williams was taken into custody and booked in the Palm Beach County Jail. The state attorney's office confirms presenting the case to a grand jury took some time to prepare, which is why it took some time for the arrest. Records also show Williams has a history of past arrests from assault, theft, and numerous traffic violations. She's scheduled to return to court on July 28th. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, Tiffany Rizzo, CBS 12 News.